Good morning, everyone. Welcome to CSL White Rock. I'm Tamara Rossander. I'm the spiritual director here, and I'm so excited that you're joining us this morning. And to start us off, we're going to have a wonderful musician, Ivan Boudreau. He is Ivan has a blended a life and variety of music into honest, well-crafted songs about many of simple emotions but gut-wrenching feelings and we all experience. So sit back and enjoy contemporary folk music delivered with Ivan's warm and relaxed approach.
Thanks, Tamara. I had to make sure I was unmuted. So here's one about smiling. I don't know if there's a heaven. I'm in no hurry to find that out. There's books to read and songs to sing and chores to forget about. I'll have fun with all my good friends, stay up late when I go out. Make the most of every day, of that I have no doubt. And if I have a choice, I'll leave this world with a smile on my face. If you plan to weep or shed a tear, that ain't the time or the place. Maybe sometime we'll meet again, somewhere out in space. And if I have a choice, I'll leave this world with a smile on my face. I could tell you all my troubles, could dwell on what I've lost, obsess about mistakes I've made and how much each one cost. But the future's looking bright, now I'm my own boss. My blues are dead and buried, and ain't sorry for that loss. And if I have a choice, I'll leave this world with a smile on my face. If you plan to weep or shed a tear, that ain't the time or the place. Maybe sometime we'll meet again, somewhere out in space. And if I have a choice, I'll leave this world with a smile on my face. Like to think I've learned a lesson from each mistake I've made. By the time I'm an old man, be perfect in every way. I'll know when to give advice, always know right from wrong. Be ready when that day comes to smile and say so long. And if I have a choice, I'll leave this world with a smile on my face. If you plan to weep or shed a tear, that ain't the time or the place. Maybe sometime we'll meet again, somewhere out in space. And if I have a choice, I'll leave this world with a smile on my face.
Thank you, Ivan. I just love that. Leaving the world with a smile on my face. That's beautiful. Thank you so very much. You know, if you would like to catch Ivan at a concert, he will actually be performing on May 21st at the Bez Arts Hub, which is actually a concert venue. And I believe Angela put that information in the chat. So apparently it's a lovely concert area. They're new. They have wonderful musicians there. And our very own Ivan will be there on May 21st. So check it out. And happy Sunday, everyone. I'm Jill Ingalls, and I am a practitioner serving this beautiful community. Thank you for being with us today. I would like to offer a warm welcome to any first-time guests. Let us know where you're from, because we would love to welcome you to our community. Thank you. As we begin our gathering today as settlers on this land, we are honored to live and operate on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coast Salish people. What a privilege this is. We thank the First Peoples who continue to live on these lands and care for them, along with the waters and all that is above and below. At CSL White Rock, we are an inclusive spiritual community and learning center. We teach spiritual principles and offer tools to use in all areas of our lives on a regular and consistent basis. And they work. These tools are beautiful guides in times of challenge, and they help us move through life with greater ease. They're beautiful. So come and join us and learn more about the use of them. All right. And they're just waiting for us to live it and enjoy it. So let us begin.
Well, hello, everyone, again. And thank you for playing with us a little bit today. Well, how fun is it that today my topic is so happy together. And we've already tried playing a little bit with our poll that didn't go exactly the way that we hoped. But you know what? That's the way it goes. And that's okay. Because all month we've been talking about how important it is to play and rest for our healthiness, both inside and out. Though there is another dimension that play helps us build relationships filled with joy and meaning. And what if our community embraced the idea of playing together as a key component of healthy living? So this month, or this week's affirmation has been, I'm joyful in my community, which ties into that Spirit has created each one of us with an overflowing capacity for joy, balance, and freedom. And yet we have that human tendency to get caught up in the busyness of the world. And we forget to engage in the essential aspects of our divine selves. And play is a sacred activity, absolutely necessary for our complete expression into this life. Play is healing to the body, mind, and heart, and it connects us with others and inspires our greater yet to be. Now, I was thinking about Reverend Savannah's talk last week. It was so much inspiration in her talk. And going from that week to this week, where it's a little bit lighter subject, and yet I think that's okay. I think it's good that we can balance out what's going on in the world with what we can do to uplift our spirits and uplift the energy of the world. So I think when we're talking about this subject of play and being a community, in the Declaration of Principles, Ernest Holmes wrote, "We believe in the unity of all life, and the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling." And think your troubles away, Ernest also said, we would know a God or divine of joy. We must be joyful. And together, these ideas lead us to the realization that we are all one. And we walk as a revealer of the joyful divine. We must be joyful together. So community and play is a sacred act that serves us all. So when I was thinking about this topic, I kind of came up with some ideas around it. And one idea came to me about the movie Frozen. I don't know if everybody's watched that. It's a Disney movie about a young princess and her sister who has these powers to turn things into ice. And when she was young, she would always, the sisters would play together to build snowmen. And one sister, they were having so much fun and they were dancing and jumping around until one point that the sister got a little bit out of control and she built so much snow, it knocked her one sister right in the head and knocked her out. And of course, then the parents came in, and the other sister, the older sister, felt so horrible that she then hid in her room. And in the movie, it shows the one sister coming to her because she was always sad and missed her sister so much. Because of course she healed and everything was going. It's a Disney movie. And she would ask her, won't you come out and play? Won't you come build a snowman with me? But the other sister felt so bad that she wouldn't come out. And she had to stay because she was afraid. She didn't want to hurt her sister again. But, it's those things. Where in our life do we hide when somebody asks us to come out and play? Where do we, each person, stop ourselves from playing? Like right now is a perfect example. I think it would be very easy to shut down and be joyful with everything that's going on in the world. Is how can I play when this is happening over in this side of the world? And yet I think it's important that we do bring these principles up, that we do play, and that we are vulnerable, and we allow ourselves to show up, and we're willing to play with others. And if somebody comes and asks you to play, because it might have taken them a lot of courage to say, hey, do you want to come and do something with me? Do you want to come to that concert we were talking about? Do you want to go and go for a walk? Whatever it is that somebody offers you, maybe it's time to say yes. Because they're wanting you to connect with them with their own sense of joy and wonder. So Charles Schaefer said, we are never more fully alive, more completely ourselves, or more deeply engrossed in anything than when we are playing. I ask you to bring to mind, what is one thing that you do in your life or that brings you that joy that time stands still for you? Think of that moment, and how can I then take that thing that I do, that I love to do, that brings me joy, that time falls away, and share it with someone? So I know for myself, I like to paint. I've just started painting. And so I've done a couple retreats where you get to paint with people. And one part of the painting workshop is she blindfolds us and puts in, we have paint out in front of us, and we put our hands in it, and we go up to our canvas, and we just paint with our hands, and just whatever comes out, and she plays some lively music, and that is fun, but it's in community. And I think about all the things that I do in my life that bring me joy, and you know what? Usually there's somebody there with me. There's things I do on my own that I like that bring me joy. And I think it's important to acknowledge those things that bring me joy. But I always know that when I have somebody else with me, helping me build that snowman, that it is a lot more fun. And it's a lot more joyful. And then conversations go, and we bring in more and more to our own lives, into our own experiences. It enriches us when we're sharing with somebody. So I don't know if you've heard of this. You've probably all heard of the easy button, right? I think it was Staples, and you press the easy button. So there's actually a new button that came out, and it's called the 30-second dance party. Okay, you have to look it up on YouTube. It is kind of funny. It will go, the button is just sitting there, and somebody will come by and boom. And it's like then a 30-second dance party with some crazy music. That's why I loved Ivan's song earlier. And what it was is it gives you a chance just to be free, to be silly, to be authentic. How important it is that we show up as ourselves and not worry about what everybody thinks of us. Isn't that's one of in the 4 agreements, not to take things personally. So when we're dancing, you have that 30-second and everybody around you is dancing, or even if you're just in a mood at home and you need to do that, put a song on for 30 seconds. And what happens? Usually the energy changes, you lighten up. And if you're with somebody else, you start laughing. What, as Nadine, Reverend Nadine spoke about a couple weeks ago, about laughter is the best medicine. And, 30 seconds, it's not that long. You don't get too self-conscious about doing it. And so it's just something to think about when you're getting down, and how you can do, or if you're with somebody, just go, hey, let's do a dance party. Let's have a little bit, let's loosen up, let's have some fun. As Ernest Holmes wrote, the present moment can never provide us with more joy. The present moment can never provide us with more joy than we are able to embody. So again, that goes back to knowing what it is that makes you happy and sharing it. I remember I was in a program, you've heard me talk about our excellence seminars, and we had to go out into the world, imagine that, and talk and go find something that brought us joy. So it was interesting. I drove by a park, and it was deserted, and I just thought, okay, what could I do? And it was funny that a memory came back to me of when I was a child, and I was at Moody Park with my mom, and she was teaching me how to go on the swings and how to pump. When you have to go and you get yourself going higher and higher. So I thought, oh, you know what? Okay, here I am, a grown woman, maybe gray hair, getting out onto the swings. And I just went as high as I could. And the joy and the laughter, and I didn't care if anybody saw me, but that feeling of joy stayed with me for such a long time, where I was able to get out of my critical self, out of that, oh, Tamara, people are going to think you're ridiculous. Here you are, a 50+ woman on the swings. But I had fun. And then we got to go back and we all shared what we did. And how fun is that, to talk about those moments in our lives that bring us joy? And that day I was able to experience the joy in that moment because I was able to embody it. I embodied that joy. So, now we've talked about being willing, being vulnerable, accepting people's invitations. We've talked about creating energy, changing things around with the 30-second dance party, being authentic, knowing what it is that makes us happy inside to share it, and opening up. It's that learning not to take ourselves too seriously. I don't know about you, but I might do that every so often. Just take myself way too seriously. So now that we're opened up and loosened up, it's how about now turning it towards community? So we've talked about with a friend, we've talked about ourselves, and how can we now, especially with the pandemic coming to end, we're starting to open up, how can we embody fun in our community and make it playful? Because I think all of us are so tired of being with ourselves, or maybe it's with our partner for a little bit, looking at each other every day. It's time to get out and be part of that community. And I know that is, I joined CSL because I wanted to be part of a community. I wanted to be with like-minded people, but I also like to have fun and I like to learn. So that is what's so special, I think, about Centers for Spiritual Living White Rock, is that it is a place that we can play together, we can have fun, and we can learn. And I think it's also a way of expanding our sense of community, getting people involved, that we are an engaged community and where we feel that we belong. You know, I found it kind of interesting that the last time I talked to you was a month ago, that I was talking about community. And it just so happened that today was talking about community again. And I thought, you know, I could change the subject. And I thought, no, you know what? I think it's really good that we talk about community in this playful way, of a way that we can engage with each other. Because traditionally, you know, and play can sometimes also be worried about traditionally with a winner or a loser. So when you think of games, you think, oh, but there are other ways to be collaborative. I know in our board and our leadership, we're really working towards a collaborative leadership team, that there's no winners, there's no losers, there's no hierarchy, that we can work together to build things. You know, you think of maybe the game like Monopoly. That is a definite illustration of the winner-loser scenario, right? The goal is to bankrupt everybody else. And you don't want whoever has, you know, the most money wins, and whoever has the least, they're, you know, or paintball, where you can actually go out and shoot somebody with a paintball. Like, oh, I haven't done that. My son used to play when he was younger, but oh my goodness, not a great example of collaboration. But there's been a rise of these German style board games. They're also known as Eurogames. And it turns this whole idea on its head of the win-lose. It's about collaboration. It's about being creative together. Everyone stays active in the game through the time of play, as long, and everything is very calculated as you're going through it, that you want to work together to get ahead. I don't know if anybody's heard of the game called Catan. My daughter brought it home a while back, and it's kind of like you become this team that you're trying to get to an end of something and solve problems, to be an economy or an invention or a town. And with that, we stay engaged with each other. So I think it's really a great game that shows us that it's fun to live and experience communal joy of playing together, where we can create a culture where it's recognized as a real need and play as a spiritual practice. So when we can play together, we can be creative together, we can move through challenges in a kind and flexible way. We can hold each other differently, feeling that we're all part of the same team. And when we're part of that same team, we become a deeper form of family. So some ideas that I've been thinking about is that with this, how can we here at CSL White Rock play a little more together and have that laughter and joy? Jean Houston said, at the height of laughter, the universe is flung into a kaleidoscope of new possibilities. At the height of laughter, the universe is flung into a kaleidoscope of new possibilities. And is that not science of mind? Is that not we're open at the top, that we are always looking for new ideas and ways to be together? And I love this I'm a big Winnie the Pooh fan. But he said, we don't realize we were making memories. We were just having fun. And it's interesting, I've talked to some families lately, and rather than doing Christmas gifts or birthday gifts, what they've been doing is creating experiences, creating ways to do things with each other. And I know I've done that in my family recently. Christmas is a huge thing for me and my family. I usually deck it all out. But a couple of years ago, we decided to go to Palm Springs, and we took the kids down. They're older adults at the time. But we created a new memory, and it's amazing. They don't remember, maybe all the toys they got when they were kids, but they talk about the experience, how much fun we had together when we went to Palm Springs and we were able to get outside and to go hiking. So it's that type of thing that is important. So I have a question for you to ask yourself. What do I love to do that would be fun to share with my greater community? And how might I go about creating an opportunity to share my fun activity? I love that idea. I was at one of our local coffee shops the other day, and I was, of course, thinking about this talk and how could we do, how could we bring some more fun into getting together? And when we come back together, and I was thinking maybe a games night, a boards night, maybe it's starting a Tuesday morning walking group. I know some of our members out there had offered maybe to teach me to knit. That was one of the things I was wanting to do this year, is learn how to knit. Maybe there's a knitting club. But these are things that we can start to connect together, that we can share in common interest and call like-minded minds and have those deeper conversations. I don't know about you, but I've stepped away from those conversations that are, oh, how's the weather? How are you doing? I mean, of course we have them and they're important, but yet I love it when I can get into those meatier conversations and we can talk about an idea or a philosophy or what is really going on in your life today. I don't know if that happens for you at all, but those are some of the best times that I connect with my friends and my family, is when we're talking about what's real, what is going on for us today. So in conclusion, I want to remember this, that community that plays together, it's a sacred act that serves us all. So to remember to be willing to be authentic and to create and work together. Because if we can create and work together, it's like on every day at noon now, there is a prayer chain for the Ukraine. What a perfect example of shifting the world into peace by working together in prayer and play and love. So, take a thing. Well, that's not English, is it, Tamara? Take a thought about what you would like to see in our community. How can we connect and have fun together and not take ourselves so seriously? I would love to see some ideas in the chat. It would be great to do that. So please feel free to add it in, and we'll go from there. So I think my time for speaking is about up. So let's take a moment and cement these thoughts in prayer, knowing that there's one life, one love, one universal divine mind, and it operates in, through, and as each of us. So knowing that I am one with that divine mind, I know that each person listening here is one with that divine mind. That expression of the one that is open possibilities, it is open to all new ideas. We take a moment and we tune into ourselves and we listen and ask ourselves, how can I show up today? How can I create fun in my community? And claiming that joy, claiming those new ideas, claiming that new thought, and then moving. It's the old saying of treat and move your feet. So today I claim that we are a community of one. We are like-minded, we are joyful, we love to play together. I know this truth for myself and I know it for each person. So I am so grateful to have this time here this morning together for this teaching, for knowing that I am on this path, walking with each of you here. What a blessing. What a blessing. So I release these words to love and law, knowing right action is already happening. New ideas are coming forth. I let it go. I let it be. And so it is.
Okay, so we are at that wonderful time again to the time for giving. If you have been nourished after today's talk, which was lovely, it was a lovely, warm, inviting talk, and I think all of us received something beautiful from it, we would appreciate your gifts, and all gifts of all sizes are welcomed. And isn't it wonderful how we're given this gift of this lovely spiritual director coming to us and offering these ideas, and how we all opened up to these new thoughts and the excitement of it. This is all in the giving and the receiving, and it's all demonstrates the law of circulation. So know that your contribution makes a positive difference to us. You can donate on our website, or if giving online doesn't work for you, you can also mail us a check and send us an e-transfer. All the information on this is on the Zoom chat, so thank you very much. And of course, the 3 different ways to give will be in the Zoom chat as well. So please join me in declaring our prosperity affirmation. Divine love within blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.